Welcome to We. The Thunder. I am Shooter, and I've got Thomas Schooley here, and we might eventually see the Stash show up here, having some technical difficulties. So we'll bring him on when he's available. But no worries, we have a sub. We've got a very special guest that's going to join us, and we might as well just bring her on right now to start the party. In the Stash's place. This is how I know the Stash is somewhere getting the notification that we're live, and he's like, why can't I connect? And Sonya is gonna steal his spotlight here. So let's bring her on. She really doesn't need any introduction. Even Carly, my lady, knows who Sonya Bryson-Kirksey is, the voice of the national anthem for the Tampa Bay Lightning. The first singer that came back to sing on ESPN. I don't know if you knew that, but you were on ESPN for opening night and the first singer on there. So Sonya, welcome back to the show. Good to see you.
Thank you. Good to see you guys as well.
So thanks for coming back. We're ready for some juicy Stanley Cup stories. I was telling Sonya, I was like, give us the dirt. Like when they won that Stanley Cup, I know you went to the Stamkos's house, you were like swimming in the pool, and Sonya's like, I got nothing. Does she have nothing?
She's in the hospital.
She's not telling
No, actually, after we won, of course, everybody's celebrating in the bowl. We watch all the people skate around with the cup. And then literally we walk out in the hallway. I saw probably 5 or 6 people. We go past Fire Stick and I saw all the employees going in there. I'm like, that's not where I want to be. So my husband and I made a beeline and we went home.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say who it is, but I'll give a little story real quick that I was told the other day from an employee that was at that party. He said that his wife had to come and pick him up the next day and found him pants down, no shirt, laying on the side of the road over near the crosstown because the party did not stop until the wee hours of the morning. And
that is crazy.
It took him 3 days before he got his car back because it took 3 days for the alcohol to get out of his system.
Oh my goodness.
So,
See, that's the reason why I didn't go to that place.
And now I'm glad I left when I did leave, because you remember we were here, we were broadcasting. I was there. You were at like IHOP or something. Schooley.
It's a tradition. We go to IHOP. We're on Thunder Alley when we win the cup, and then we get the hell out of there before it gets dangerous. So we're like, see ya, and we go to IHOP.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm a little upset about that night because, as you saw, I was on the show just trying to get a beer outside of Amalie Arena to celebrate the Stanley Cup, and I could not get one. Someday we're gonna do this episode where we do our roast of the Tampa Bay Lightning, because sometimes they mess up too.
What?
Anyway, no, they don't.
What? No.
But yeah, so I actually, after we hung up that night, I think I was at Yeoman's when we stopped the show, and I had friends that were there. They went down to like the Marriott, the hotel where we knew some other people are, and I offered to drive them there, and then I left. I dropped them off. So that it was not me. That was laid out outside of Amalie that night. All right, so we got some news for you. Some breaking news last night. We the Thunder is on Twitter now. It is on Twitter. We've been talking about it for a minute. Mostly the tweets are going to be by me, by the way, unless it is designated, like signed by somebody else. Thomas has his own Twitter that he uses. But
I
this
just
is
go through like in Sonya's post. That's what my Twitter is for.
Pretty much, right? That was my go-to. Like I've got like my go-to once I set up the account of like, oh, lightning. So all my good folks are followed. But definitely go shoot us a follow. We do have a post up there right now. In fact, let's share this post because you're going to have about 45, no, actually only about half an hour, I think, left on this thing. Actually, it's going to say once I share. So this is a pretty good question. This is our Halloween episode, by the way.
Okay.
I'm going to be eating candy. Oh my God, that looks horrible. That was the wrong screen. I'm going to be eating candy all episode. It looks like the stash is trying to get in here. But here's the question of the day for this poll. Let me share it so you can see. You got to go find us. You can only vote on Twitter here. At We the Thunder Pod. Better get that right. Hey, and guess what we did also to set up this Twitter is we have an email as well now.
Wow.
So We the Thunder Podcast at Gmail if you want to send us some sort of mail. But here's the question, right? Only 14 votes. You can tell the account was created last night. Tampa Bay Lightning player, the best costume. So the players must have had a party the other night. They got all dressed up. You had Matty Joe. I didn't know if he was Lil Wayne. I didn't know if he was Lil Jon or if he was just a rapper. But here he is.
Lil Wayne.
Wayne, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Lil Wayne.
All right. So there he is. He is in third right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Vassy, who I mean, look at that beautiful face right there. By the way, you got to go check out Vassy on the Block Party for a quick little interview. Nobody interviews Vassy, right? And
right.
Kushner got him, but he's a Russian hitman, obviously. You got Sergachev also on the list. He was Pennywise from It. There he is, I believe, with his lady there. And then the one that I think everyone saw, the one that's in first place, you had Shifter and Killer.
That was good.
As your Buccaneers QBs. So go vote for that on our new Twitter. The main reason why I set this up is because the only thing I miss about Twitter is being able to put my tweets out during the game. So if you're watching the game, that's when I'll be tweeting. But anyway, go vote for that. We'll see who's winning by the end. And let's bring on a guy that used to be a host of this show.
He looks so happy right now.
He's relocated, it looks like.
I want to talk about it.
Oh, we can't hear you.
Wait.
That's probably because I'm far away.
Yeah,
Can you hear me now?
Your audio's
I can hear you.
a little jacked up. But hey, welcome back to We the Thunder. We saved your spot. We were definitely trying to give it away to Sonya. We were trying to get her to be the permanent co-host, but you made it back.
She was stealing your thunder.
So she has a leg up on me there.
She does. Your audio is so messed up. You got to reconnect. At first, it was like you would speak and then we'd hear you a minute later, and now your mouth's moving and I don't know what's going on. You got to reconnect. Get that microphone right. Maybe just connect to your phone.
Fishy. So real quick, why he's trying to redo that. Sonya, okay, everybody, you see everybody's giving you the love, telling you thank you. You were in the limelight a lot on this off season. Everybody knows now you had COVID. In the hospital for a month. Came out stronger than ever. There was a clap off for you. I was lucky enough to be there for the clap off, clap out when you got to leave.
Yeah.
Of course, during this whole thing, interviews every single day. Calling your husband, calling me, calling the guy from 1771 Designs. I mean, everything. There was T-shirts made for you, the GoFundMe for you. Everything under the sun for you. And all we heard from the news people was how connected so many people were to you in this story, that everybody every single day wanted updates. And because they were messaging you, they were tweeting you, messaging your husband. I talked to Jimmy quite a bit during this, and Jimmy's like, this person's calling me. This person's calling me. Can you do it, Thomas? And I'm like, yes. And he's like, thank you. He's like, it's not that I don't want to do it. I just want to be there for Sonya and stuff like that. So then opening night, you had sent me some videos prior to opening night of you singing. It was like, don't say anything. And I kept it hush hush. And then the night before opening night, you finally let the cat out of the bag that you were going to be there. So then, of course, it was the news of the night. Before opening night, before the game, I got to see everybody, Melanie Michaels, everybody else over there interviewing you. So happy we're back. And standing ovation when, well, we were already standing anyway for this.
Yes.
But probably the biggest cheer, well, definitely the biggest cheer of that night, but one of the loudest cheers I've heard in that arena for a long time. You got emotional. So what was it like? What was it like coming back, knowing what you have been through in just a matter of a couple months?
It was very special. It was very emotional in that I didn't know whether to cry or sing. So I was fighting both really at that time, but I finally got the words out and got some singing done. But it was very emotional for me because I didn't know if I was going to make it back by opening night. And in no way were they forcing me or even pushing me to get back by opening night. As a matter of fact, they told me, don't feel bad if I can't, because they'll have someone fill in for me until I'm ready, so that was the key there. But because I'm who I am, that military thing on the inside of me, just push until you get it done,
No, so. Tell everybody what you told me. They can't keep that big mouth shut. That's what you said to me.
It's hard to keep this big mouth down, man. I'll tell you what. I sing all the time, so you're talking about a person who sings daily in my house as it is. And, in the hospital, I really wasn't able to sing because, I had this terrible cough the entire time, most of the time. So getting back home and getting to a point where I could sing, it was a big deal for me. So I wanted to make sure that I got back.
So going on this fame of this, you got those pictures handy there, Shooter? I want to show these pictures that actually Sonya had put on her Instagram. And this little Halloween thing here. This is how famous you have become. People are making their Halloween decorations.
That made me giggle so hard when I saw that today. The lady that did it, she actually sent it to me on Facebook Messenger. And I typically don't look into my message requests because I just don't, and then every now and again I'll go and there's like 50 of them, so I looked at that one and I was like, what in the world is that?
I was like, this is when you've made it. Someone has done their Halloween decorations like you.
That's crazy. I love it though. I think it's so creative. And I love the blue lips. If you zoom in, you can see the blue lips.
Yep.
Awesome.
I was like, only Sonya would be happy with a skeleton figurine of her and send it back out going, I love this.
I do. That was and it has the flag behind it. That's the main thing. I was like, yeah, and a microphone. Yeah, that's awesome.
Are we going to see this at Spirit Halloween next year?
I don't know. This lady is amazing. I don't know if she made all of that stuff, or I don't know how she came up with that. That's just really cool.
What's really cool about this and you is like anyone that's a Bolts fan knows what this is immediately.
Yeah.
Right.
They know it's you. Like, how cool is that? What's it like to be you, Sonya? Like, Thomas Schooley is so jealous right now.
It's amazing to me.
And guess what, Thomas? Next Halloween, I'm gonna make a decoration for you.
Yeah. It's gonna need to have a belly because that's too skinny to be me.
Me too.
But
And then last night I was lucky enough to do a group night for Thunderbolts, and Sonya was very gracious of coming up and taking a group photo. So, and Sonya is always very, she's one of those people that you can talk to around the arena. I mean, before she had said that she would come up there first intermission, but her and her husband got up there a little bit earlier. And I was sitting over on the other side with them, and there was just a couple of people that come over and was just like, "Are you Sonya? Are you the one that just sang the national anthem? Are you?" And you know, especially in the 300s, people don't expect to see Sonya up in the 300s. They're like, "Oh, you know," and she will go anywhere. She's really a fan of the people of the game. She loves Bolts Nation, but don't hug her. Don't attempt to hug her.
Please don't. Not right now.
No. And that was one of the things I was like very clear. But then when they were coming up and saying hi to her before we got over to the group, me and her husband are both keeping watchful eyes of these people to make sure they didn't try to hug her.
Yeah.
And it's like, don't you touch her. She's a valuable commodity there.
Well, it's not that. It's just that I have, and I'll say it here. I haven't posted about it yet, but I'm having a little PTSD when it comes to people touching me right now, and that just comes from the fact that I kind of know how I got COVID to begin with. So, and it was from touching people. So, so it's just I'm a little flinchy right now, but I'm doing therapy for that, and hopefully that'll be taken care of here soon. Hopefully.
Don't ever let them touch you. I told you that years ago. I told your daughter that years ago when you were taking pictures with Penguins fans. I was like, no, the opposing team don't get to take pictures with you.
Listen, I think I've taken photos with pretty much every opposing team that's come to that arena, only because people can look past my team and maybe like my anthem and tell me. And of course, when they tell me, boom, there it is. We're going to take a photo, buddy. So I want documentation.
I'll never forget the one time I was down in the Lexus Lounge and Sonya's down there and it was a Penguins fan. And they're like, "Can I take a picture with you?" And she's like, "Sure." And Sonya goes to walk away after she takes the picture. And the girl goes, "Oh, wait, I don't look good in it. Can I take another one?" And I'm like, "No, you say no. You say no." And she's like, "Sure." I said to her daughter, I said, "Don't you ever get sick of this? Don't you hate your mom being Sonya Bryson? Don't you ever one time in your life go, man, I wish you couldn't sing?"
No, you know what? Jessica she has a very talented ear. She sings, and all my kids sing, but they're not willing to sing in front of people. So Jessica has a very gifted ear. So when I'm practicing or if I go and do my sound check, she'll tell me if I'm a sharp or if I'm a little if my delivery is a little wacky. She'll let me know. And that's the beauty of having someone who will tell you the doggone truth.
Your whole family is wonderful. I've got to meet everybody in your family and they're just wonderful. It's beyond crazy and they
all love you, Tom.
And I see how you've raised those kids and it just continues to roll down. Like they can be ambassadors themselves.
Oops.
What are you doing?
You got too close, Thomas.
She got sideways.
Uh-oh. I think she's not only sideways, but frozen.
She's froze up.
So
she's dealing with stash issues now.
Well, yeah.
I passed the buck.
Difficulties have begun. We'll let her get sorted out. Sonya, if you can hear us, you probably just need to reconnect. Going from Sonya, who, hey, let's give her some space. Let's give Sonya some space. To the stash, the stash will touch every single one of you if you want him to.
Easy.
Let's put the preference out there if you want him to.
As long as you don't, unwillingly touch me first. It's a weird thing.
That's true. But if you're gonna ask, then it's okay.
That's right.
So hopefully Sonya can get back on here. But we got the Stash back. Stash, you missed a heck of a show last week. You missed a half of the show.
Yeah.
Have you been following the team?
What team? What do we do here?
The Rays.
What's this? Yeah. Dual cities, baby. Let's take it to Montreal.
Actually, you know
No, I
what?
mean I was in Vegas last week, so
This might be a good time for me to give the shout out to the old Patty Maroon's Icy Mint Pomade, that Letty
What?
dressing. I wish my camera didn't suck and it would actually focus on things that I held up to it. But
right.
this is the new hair care product from your
Really?
lightning aficionado,
Really?
Pat Maroon. Yes, this
I'm gonna
is
have to give me
Icy
some of that.
Mint Pomade. It's in my hair right now, but it was put in like 12 hours ago. Peppermint oil, vitamins A, C, and E. I've never felt better, to be honest with you. And that's not all you get.
Fresh.
So he's also got the shampoo and conditioner, I believe. So you got to check that out. And he's got like a promo code right now. But guess what? This stuff comes with some serious benefits here. You also get the Letty dressing rake. I didn't know this was coming. This is, you can barely tell, this is the finest tooth comb I have ever owned.
That's crazy.
And
yeah, that's pretty.
It's got, I don't know what this
too.
part's for. Is this to like stroke your
That's to help part
lock?
your hair.
Yeah,
that's like supposed to be like help parting your hair and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm the wrong person to be reviewing this because I don't really comb my hair almost at all.
Right.
And then the old sticker, the Letty dressing, that's definitely going
nice.
With some of my other great stickers. So shout out to Patty Maroon Stash. I think you gotta get the shampoo next. I think you gotta get your fair share of Patty hair products.
I mean, I'll definitely check out that pomade. I mean, my flow's looking pretty good right now with the products I'm already using, but you know, I'll definitely give it a shot. You know, I mean, I feel like I'm looking a lot more like Patty Maroon these days than he is with that completely shaven face of his, you know, but yeah, man, I'm down. You know, I'm always good for a nice pomade, especially when I got the flow going. So
that next time you
come man, it's good to be back. You know, Vegas was crazy last week. You know, and as you can see, this is the same room. I just painted it. I'm finally getting my studio together here. I started it right before I left Vegas, and I didn't get quite done this weekend because of Halloween and everything. So I was trying to. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the same room. Same room. Just it's been painted now, as you can see, and I haven't got everything back up on the walls yet. But yeah, it's good to be back, man. I have been watching Lightning hockey. I have been paying attention to the team. I'm pretty sure my preseason prediction is holding steady right now with Stammer leading the team in goals. And Killer, my guy, obviously sitting there kicking ass right now too. He's playing right where he left off before he broke the stick in the postseason. So, yeah, man, it's a good time right now. They're finally starting to look good.
Stammer doesn't lead in goals. Killer does.
No, not right now.
Yeah,
it's Killer after the 2-goal night. That's what I was just gonna say. As soon as I said that, I think it's Killer now.
Yeah,
but it'll be. I think it'll still be Stammer at the end of the season. Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, those two guys leading the way. That's always a good thing, you know.
And to Kevin's comment here, yes, I will be starting my blog Shampooer in the stash soon. As long as I can review some more hair care products. Sonya's back. It's a night of technical difficulties. So
my phone died.
Oh yeah, that'll do it. That'll do
it. Sideways and then gone.
That's definitely a technical difficulty.
But the last thing you said was your family loved me, so I was all right with that.
So yeah, I pretty much felt like she was BSing you there.
Yeah.
No. I see you. I see you.
All right. So I want to break down these last few games. A lot of good stuff to talk about, but I want to get your early season thoughts, Sonya, because we've had a lot of people really worried about the team's performance so far. You know, not exactly our bolts from the last 2 years, but they're also not exactly the same team from the last 2 years.
Right.
What were you feeling about those first 2 weeks of the season? We were just trying to keep at 500.
You know what? I don't feel about any of that because I know our team. I know at the heart of the Tampa Bay Lightning is a winning spirit. So regardless of whether they don't gel or mix the first few weeks of the season, that's kind of irrelevant to me. I know that eventually they're gonna find their little mojo, I'll say, together, where they fit together, who fits here, who does this on this line, and I know it's going to eventually come together. So it didn't really bother me because I know their identity. Their identity is winners.
Yeah. And it started to come together this week for sure, these last two games, and we'll get to that. Do you feel like, does it feel any different around the building? Do you feel like does it feel like just the old days, like the team's back? I mean, I know it's kind of tough to compare. Like, it's been a weird last 2 years, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But do you feel like, this team's ready to go back to back with that three-peat? Do you notice anything different? Maybe like some entitlement issues with like Sergachev these days?
No, I was gonna say, have you got to meet the new players like Corey Perry?
No, I haven't, not yet. And honestly, that's a kind of weird little situation because with the NHL rules now, as you can see, I don't know if you could see the rug where I was singing from. You can't even have it all the way out like it used to be, because NHL rules say you can only be so close to the players at any given time. That's also the reason why the skater kid is not out there with them. While the anthem is going on, they have to come off the ice. And my rug is only like, I think 6 foot long, and it can only jut out into the ice a certain amount of space. So that may or may not happen as far as meeting them, unless it's on a personal level or at something where they don't mind sharing space with me.
I got to speak with Paul Porter yesterday, the voice of the Lightning, before the game, because I miss him. We used to have this little thing. Before every game, I went down there right next to where he sat in the penalty box area. And we always said hi to each other, and he ate his popcorn and everything. And so it's been gone. I mean, we did that for 4 years. Every game, I'd hit the glass, call his name, he would wave and stuff like that. And so then we had the 2 years with COVID, the first of the no fans in the bubble. Then the second one, it was limited fans, but you weren't allowed to go down to the glass. They had those cordoned off. So this year we actually get to go do it again. And of course, he's not there. He's up in the 200 level over there with Franzone, where they do the thing over there. So I got to talk to him yesterday, and I said, man, I miss you down in the penalty box. And he's like, I hate it. He's like, it's the NHL that's requiring us to be up there. He said, hopefully next season he gets to come back down. But right now, he is not even allowed in the penalty box area. And he said that's why there's a delay on him calling the game, the goals, because it has to be radioed up to him of what it is. So, it's a total still different for you guys. As much as we are 19,000 back in the arena again, it's still not the same for you guys who help put on the experience every night.
Absolutely. I do love being back down in the tunnels. There's something soothing being in the tunnels prior to me singing, because I can kind of get in my head and focus on the task at hand. Upstairs, I could not do that at all.
Because last year you were up in the 200s in the Chase Club area, doing the national anthem there.
I mean, I love the fans, but the worst thing on the planet is me trying to get into the zone to get ready to sing, and somebody's like, "Hey, how you doing?" And I'm like, "Hey, how you doing?"
Do you have like a go-to move or like thought process, like before you sing? Do you have to like psych yourself up for it?
No, I don't. No, I don't have to psych myself up to sing at all. I have a big, huge mouth. Okay, it does. You don't have to coax me to sing ever. But when we're in the tunnels, though, there's like process. So when we come in, I do sound check. Then after sound check, I sit around in the blue room, chit chat with my husband a little bit, and then I leave to go put my makeup on. Now that's typically the time that, I'm getting in my head, getting ready for things, because that's typically I get out there to where I have to be about maybe 5 minutes prior to me going out.
Is there a specific time that you actually start singing? because usually everything's pretty orchestrated. Usually they drop the puck right at like for 7 o'clock start time. It's usually like 7:09.
Yeah, I don't ever know specifically because there's different things that can happen. Sometimes there's network TV there, and if network TV there, we usually start closer to 7 o'clock. So we're usually out there prior to that, but it's a little different every time.
Yeah, because I was telling you before we went on, my problem is because I live out here in Tarpon Springs, these 7 o'clock start times, I can't leave sometimes till 6 o'clock, and it takes me forever to get there. And like last Thursday night,
even when I'm at home, those 7 o'clock games are brutal to catch.
Why?
Yeah. Well,
am I lagging really bad?
No, I said why? Why is it hard for you at home?
No, you're not lagging.
Just because like you get in that like kind of mode. You're used to like 7:20, 7:30, and like that pregame is at 7 o'clock, and then suddenly you're like, oh man, it's and like my son gets home at a certain time, we do homework and everything, and it just it's that routine you get used to. And then whenever that 7, it's not to say that it's hard. I guess it's hard to remember like, oh, it's a 7 o'clock game, and I've got to adjust everything up a half an hour sooner. And Shooter's right. Every time we try to go to a 7 o'clock game, we miss the first period. We miss the first period. There's no getting there in time, really.
It's so weird because they did send a survey out asking, did we like the 7:30 times better, or did we like the 7 o'clock? And I think the majority of people said 7:30. But then you also had the I don't want to say the elderly crowd, but the old timers who want to get home earlier. So they like the earlier start time. But for those people that live in Pinellas County, or I'm not going to say exactly where you live, but the Brandon area and stuff like that, that's not an easy trip at 7 o'clock at night. Like literally, I have to leave Pinellas County by 4 o'clock to not get stuck on a bridge.
Oh, yeah.
So, I make sure my work day, I'm scheduled till 4, off at 4, jump on a bridge and get over there. I don't care if I have to sit at Amalie for 2 hours before we can get in there.
Yep.
That's so I don't have to sit 2 hours on a bridge.
Yeah.
Tiffany's driving down from Ocala.
Yeah.
Wow.
We have Serena and Adrian. I know they come from Orlando. There's quite a few that are from Orlando that are season ticket members, and it's just like I couldn't imagine.
Yeah, but we've got to adjust our schedules. I'm adjusting my schedule. If I'm going to go to a weekday game that starts at 7, I've got to be ready to go here at like 5 because I got to be there. I just like the feeling of when Sonya or any national anthem singer before that game, like that silence, that moment, like that makes me feel like I'm at that event. And if I miss that, I don't feel like I, fully experienced it. So keep doing what you're doing, Sonya. We'll get there in time.
I gotcha.
Yeah, she ain't gonna sit there and say, "Shooter, are you here?"
Where are you?
Oh my gosh.
I'm waiting for you.
All right. Should we talk about some hockey? Some actual hockey on the hockey field. I guess they don't call it field anymore. All right, Arizona. This was I think I said Thursday, but what day was this game? This was Thursday night.
Yeah, it was a Thursday game.
Thursday night. Right, Thomas. The schedule is really screwing me up now because we didn't have any games this weekend. That's why I'm all messed up. So Arizona Thursday night, like 10 minutes in the game, I'm texting Schoolie in the stash. I'm like, this is the best game ever. As soon as they drop the puck, Patty Maroon gets in a fight.
Yeah.
And then you had Killer with 2 goals in that first period. You had the Stammer power play goal. I had my Stamkos socks on too. The first time I wore my Stamkos socks to a game with shorts on, looked ridiculous, but I'm not superstitious, but I'm gonna have to wear them the next game. And so that's the first period. We're up like 3-0. I'm texting the stash in school, and the stash is in Vegas, and I'm like, Stash, if there's one game you should have been at, it was this one. because his
Yeah.
current favorite players are basically Killorn, Maroon, Stamkos, and those guys had themselves a game. Also, shout out to Chuck. I forget Chuck's last name, but Chuck will tune in sometimes. I haven't seen him in the chat today. I sat next to Chuck, unknowingly sat next to Chuck. He's like, "Hey, how's it going?" Yes. And I actually only sat in those seats for the first period because we went down to move with some friends, actually Debbie and Joyce. And that first period, the Lightning were just, 3-goal lead, and they were just from the get-go. And I told Chuck when we sat down, I was like, "Chuck, I'm here for an ass whooping tonight." And of course, Patty Maroon drops the gloves, literally does what I asked for, and then these guys just go off and start scoring goals like they should have been all season long. So
Yeah.
I now call him Good Luck Chuck. So if you're out there, Chuck, or you're listening to the podcast, that's your new name. Good Luck Chuck.
He is Kim Ricci's. That is her next door neighbor.
All right, and tell Chuck I said he's Good Luck Chuck now. And I'm sorry I abandoned him. The rest of the game, they didn't play as well. But you still had ABB, who, by the way, ABB points in 3 straight games now.
Yeah.
Welcome back. So he's going to fit in here nicely, hopefully, for the full season. And then the cherry on the top of that game, the Andre Suster goal. And kudos. Who's the person that does the music?
Sean.
Kudos to Sean, because Sean, without hesitation, oops, I did it again. Like
yes.
2016 again. And that was the cherry on the top. That was the most fun Lightning game I've been to in a while. Obviously, that wasn't a playoff game because those are ridiculously fun. But wow, that Arizona game was really fun.
Mm-hmm. It was.
Yeah, that was probably the comeback butt whooping that they really needed to have.
Mm-hmm.
They had just came off the 5-1 back-to-back game, the win in Pittsburgh, and they won 5-1 there. Came home, they had not won at home yet, and this was their get. Arizona was coming up, beat up. Arizona was coming up, depleted, had not won a game yet. So Strawman returned back to Amalie. He's a crowd favorite, but then
By the way, what number is he?
What was he, 16 now or
No. He's Cooch's number now.
Oh, 86. That's what he was.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
86,
It's like
yeah.
huge influence.
6. I was like, what was it? Because I was looking for him out on the ice. I was like, where is he? And then I ended up seeing him on that breakaway that they ended up scoring on. He was the sitting duck out there. But we finally got the home win. They got the monkey off the back on that. Killer had the 2-goal night, and then you knew things were going the right way when Schuster got it in the net.
Schuster he's so awesome too. I met him years ago when they first got him. Remember when he got the slash?
Yes.
Okay, so the weekend after that, they had the carnival for the STMs, and that's when I first had my booth, my picture with Sonya Booth, and he was right next to me. So I didn't know it until after I took a break, and I look around the corner, and there he stands. He's huge, right? And I was like, "Oh my goodness, how's your face?" He goes, "Well, I can't model anymore." I was like, "He's so crazy. He's so crazy." But you can see the little staples going across his face.
He's also you got to follow him on Instagram because he's become kind of like this photographer guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the Bolts they've posted some of his pictures as well. He seems to like the black and white stuff, which I can dig. But I think that's pretty cool. He's picked up a hobby when he was overseas.
Gotcha.
And so you can his house is up on Airbnb. You can rent his house out here in Tampa from back when he bought it right before we let him go last time, and it's been on Airbnb ever since. And even now that he's back, it's still on Airbnb. So I'm like, I wonder if it comes with him in it. Is he a roommate in there? Or is
that would be crazy.
Is he crashing at Killer's house during this? Oh, what's going on here?
Is it weird if we rent it out just to do one of these shows there?
Oh, that would be fun.
It says, in part of the agreement, it says you're allowed to do videography there and stuff like that for videos and stuff like that. But it's expensive, but it's a nice house.
Mm.
All right. We gotta think about this. Stash, what were your thoughts on that Arizona game? Did you watch the whole thing? And where were you at were you in your presidential suite in Vegas or whatever, like sipping on?
No, I was home. I was home for that game.
Oh, you were home?
Yeah, last night. Yeah.
No. The Arizona game.
Arizona game. I was still in Vegas. Yeah.
The memories are wiped.
Hey, what happens there stays there, including all the memories, right?
2-day dispensaries.
Just one, a very nice one, as a matter of fact. But really, it was that we got the Prestige wide upgrade to the Prestige Club. And it was like open bar happy hour for 3 hours every day and continental breakfast. And so me and Mrs. Stash definitely took advantage of that. Because, I mean, it was a fee, but like for what we spent everywhere else throughout the day, like it was pennies compared to what we're spending on drinks and food everywhere else. So, but that's the difference too. I mean, we're in our 40s now. So Vegas, it was a lot of food and a lot of drinking and not so much like gambling and partying and any of that stuff. Went to an awesome show, but yeah, I watched everything on kind of like as I could, watching stats. I didn't get to really watch the games out there. So I didn't really get caught up until I got back this weekend.
Yeah, well, you missed it. I felt bad that you were not at this game because it was all your favorites. Well,
and I was also a little bit disappointed because technically you got to go to that show because I wasn't, or that game because I wasn't here. Like you got hooked up those tickets because I wasn't here and you invited the other guests on. And so you got to go to that game without me because of me. So you're welcome.
No, they asked first. They're like, Stash is not coming, right? Oh, it's no time. Look, he just wants to say hey. He just wants to say hey to me.
Yeah. You see Rob?
No, it's Sonya. Look out.
That's so funny. I got my show, okay? I love you.
So I don't know if all that's true, but yes, and shout out to the guy in Sticks of Fire that was a few rows behind us. Every time Phil Kessel touched the puck, he had something hilarious to say, whether it was about hot dogs or conditioning or
whatever. he better work on his material. If he's got to say something every time he sees Phil Kessel touch the puck, I'm just saying.
Yeah,
just saying.
Well, he was pretty good. All right, so last night, DC comes to town. Ovechkin. We had our guy Rutu, which I will continue to call him Rutu.
That's it.
And people are gonna think like we're brand new, but
correct
if you
people
watched any of the playoffs last 2 years, that's what they call him.
You're new. If you don't know, his name is Rutu. I correct people at the arena all the time. Ruta. I'm like, no, it's Rutu. It is Rutu. You call him Ruta, I will throw you on the ice like a hat. I'm kidding.
You know what else we have from last episode that you aren't here? I forget who it was in the chat. Said Kachuk. What's his name? He's injured right now.
Kachuk,
the rookie. His new name is Ketchup.
Yes. I'm just gonna start calling him Mustard. Come on, let's take it one step further. Let's make it even weirder.
Rutu out. By the way, I guess he was practicing today. So
yeah.
He's
everyone looks healthy right now.
And finally, Foot makes his debut.
Not everyone, but
yeah, not everyone's healthy. But Foot makes his debut. I thought Foot played pretty good last night. Did you guys notice him at all?
I was surprised they had him paired with Schuster.
Yeah,
that's a scary pairing. A rookie with Schuster.
You do have a veteran with Schuster, but he's also known as a giraffe. So to have Foot with Schuster, I would have liked to have seen him with more skilled defenseman on his first game back. I really thought the Caps were going to take advantage of that defensive pairing. They didn't. I mean, it worked out in our favor. So
I think part of that has to do with a little bit of lack of confidence in Sergachev right now. I think they feel like they need to put him on that line with Hedman because he's still showing a little bit of immaturity. If you pay attention to what he's been doing so far this season, and even going back to the playoffs last year, he's just not quite maturing, I think, quite fast enough. And maybe we're pushing him along because we do have such great defensemen already, and he still is only like 5 or 6 years in. You know what I mean? So, but I think that's why the Lightning are really making sure he's on Hedman, paired with Hedman right now, just to kind of get him back there, get him back in that mentality, kind of get him back on an even keel. They got in his head big time in the playoffs last year. A couple teams were able to get under his skin. So I really think that what you're seeing is they're just trying to get him a little bit more faster maturation process. And then I think here a little bit later, as they all get set up, you'll see him drop back down into a different pairing away from Hedman and try and be able to protect when Schuster or Foote or one of those guys has to come up.
Yeah. Well, Sergeyev's still young.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, I always remind people, he's getting older, but I always remind people of Hedman's like first 2 years, right?
Or first 4 years, really. Yeah.
Wasn't quite the heady we know now. And Sergachev, I think he's going through those growing pains now. I'll tell you what, though, that guy's good for some amazing passes, though. Every game, he's got at least a couple. But
and I think he's 23. 23. Yeah. I mean, he's been here for a while, so everybody, he's a household name for the Lightning fans and everything else. But he's 23 years old. When we got the trade from Druin, he came here to training camp. He told Windsor, because it was either he was going to make the team or he had to go back to Windsor Spitfires and play. And he couldn't go to the Crunch because he wasn't old enough. So he had to go to either Windsor or he had to make the team. And when he left Windsor for training camp here, he told them, "I will not be back."
Yeah. Well, and the other thing too is with defensemen, they've said this, and we've talked about this on the show time and time again. It's an average of 6 years for a defenseman, 6 full seasons in the NHL for that guy to really start getting to the point of a real top line, a veteran defenseman, if you will. He's only in his 5th full season right now. He's just starting his 5th full season, and all 4 seasons have been here, as Scully's talking about.
And he's got different defensive pairings almost every year.
Correct. And that's the other thing too, is that he is the guy that gets shifted around a lot. He was with Strauss a little bit. He was with Shaddy a little bit. He was McDonough a little bit. He was with Cerny a little bit. He's with Hetty a little bit. So, again, I think that's what it really is. They're just grooming him. They're playing with all these guys. They're getting a little bit of maturation for him. And unfortunately, just where we're kind of at, he has to step up a little bit more. And that's the other thing too. Looking at it, it was only 56 games last year too, so that's not even a full season. Remember, shortened season. You know what I mean? 70 the season before, including playoffs. So he still is really only coming in his 4th year, really, as a defenseman. So the fact that he's already at the level he is now, it bodes very, very well for his future and the future of the blue line for this Lightning. So
George says 300 games for a defenseman to be good. He's at 293. So
7 games.
More games to learn it out. Sorry,
and he'll be good.
300 games. I mean, games, seasons. It's potato. That's about the same.
Right.
5 to 6 years, 300 games. But yeah, that's what they say, and that's where he's at, and I think he looks good. And so if we can kind of Schuster, Foote, these guys can kind of fill in at the bottom, Ruda, and just kind of cycle them through. That's what it's going to take this year on the blue line. That's just what we're looking at. That's the reality.
Last night he had his most shifts and time on ice so far this season. He had 32 shifts for 23:52 in time. He got that goal against Pittsburgh when we finally broke out of the scoring slump and started doing those five goal games. He got that goal in there. He had an assist. That was his 2-point night. So I mean, right now, I think he's more focused on that scoring aspect. The Lightning's always wanted a scoring blue line, and he gets in his own head when he doesn't score. I knew people that was down by the locker room that when he would have those kind of nights where back a couple of years ago when he kind of scored like every couple of games, and he would be missing a lot of shots. He was down on himself. He would break his stick back in the locker room. And he was just down on himself. And I think that's also some of that Russian culture. Because you also see the hot-headedness out of Vasi, out of Kuch, out of Ovechkin. Really, any of your Russian players have that. And I think he knows it himself that he's not right now where he should be.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's going to be more of a helper guy anyways. I don't necessarily think it's goals per se. I think it's getting on the stat sheet. I mean, if you really look at his lines, it's the assists that really butter his bread, and I think that's what he likes. I don't necessarily sure he likes to get those rocket shots from blue line, and when they go in, and he loves that. But I think that he really prides himself, like you were talking about, the great passing that we see shooter from him, and the playmaking ability he brings from the blue line. He's a little bit different than Hetty. I mean, Hetty gets a lot of helpers too, but Hetty's the guy that can go end to end anytime he wants, stick on a puck on a stick and make a play dynamically and score a goal. Sergachev's that guy that's going to be coming down the ice, looking to make a play, looking to put that puck in the right position. And when he misses those passes, that's when I think he really starts getting in his head. It's when he has those bad drop shots and bad passes. That's when he really
2 seasons ago when they were doing that huge thing, I think it was NBC Sports, were making a big deal about how the blue line hadn't scored in like 6 games. And you could see they were interviewing Hetty, Chernak, Sergachev, and they're just, the Lightning are known for that blue line scoring, whether it's the assist or whether it's I mean, we haven't really had the goals from Hetty this year either. You know, he's had those assists, but he really hasn't had goals, at least not memorable ones I can think of. So it's they were known for that blue line scoring, and this year it seems more like they're more in the assist role. There's Jimmy. That's the man, the myth. There's Sonya's husband.
He can't hear you, so
oh man. I said,
hey, what's good?
What's up?
I said, there's the man, the myth right there. The good side of Sonya over there.
We want to hear you sing.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to hear me sing? Oh, I taught her, so you know. You hear me every time you sing.
Thank you for allowing her to join us tonight.
Oh, you're welcome. Anytime. But I'm getting ready to hit the road, so I'm gonna see you guys later.
That's right. We'll catch you at the next game, there, Jimmy.
You headed to South Carolina?
Yeah, I'm headed back up.
Be safe.
Thank you. Y'all be good.
All right, man.
I'll be right back.
Thanks for the warning. Yeah,
right,
I mean, like, to go back to it though, I think that's what it really is. That blue line, we get goals here and there, and they're timely, but really the assists and the way that the offense flows through that blue line, that's really the key, I think. And it's getting there so far, but it's gonna. This whole team is just taking a little bit to get back to their regular situation. You know what I mean? I mean, Hetty has already got 9 assists, no goals yet, but he's already got 9 helpers.
I didn't think he had any goals.
And that's why I call him but hey, listen, what do I always call him? Hetty the helper. That's what I call him. Not because he scores a lot of goals, but because he always sets up the play before the biscuit going in the basket. So as long as he's getting those helpers, he'll get his 10, 12, whatever it is. Let's see.
And if we're talking about defensemen,
10, 15
how
goals.
dare us not talk about Chernak last night?
Right.
Definitely one of my
I was getting there.
Because I see Jody mentioned it, Kim mentioned it. Yeah, I mean, blocking those shots, especially those Ovechkin shots on the power play, like she's saying.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not standing in front of those things.
He was a beast.
And going toe to toe with the biggest goon in the NHL as well. No fear.
That dirty shot at the end, and then when Chernak turned around and didn't have a broken hand, he was like, refs, get in here, refs. Let's break this up.
I was scared. I'm gonna tell you right now, that cross check right to the forearm, I was scared. I mean, that's easily a fracture. A fracture. There's no padding there whatsoever. It was above the glove. And obviously I was painting and doing stuff today, so I didn't see. I don't know if you guys talked about it already. Did anything come from the hearing today at all?
He did not get a hearing. That was a fake account that tweeted that out everywhere. He
had really?
No
hearing whatsoever for that completely obvious intent to injure cross check after the game was over. No hearing,
nothing,
huh?
Nothing.
Makes sense. That makes sense.
Well, here you go. Yeah. If you missed it last night,
it's right here.
This is with 0.1, like 0.5 seconds left.
Boom, right there. Right there. It comes right down on that right hand.
For no reason.
And for Wilson's reason.
It was Ovechkin that was lined up in that spot, and then they kicked the center out, and Ovechkin moved over, and Chernak and Ovechkin kind of like tumbled to the ice together seconds before that. So Wilson, trying to be Mr. Tough Guy, is trying to retaliate.
So what's he taking up for everybody?
Wait. Let's rewind that real quick. And let's go slow. Look where Chernak's stick goes, right at the face-off there. Right there. It's in between his legs.
Why?
Yeah.
Watch the stick.
Oops.
Doink.
Yeah.
Did you know that, Thomas? I didn't see that last night.
Yes. Yeah, and there goes April just said it. And Chernak put the stick between his legs. Exactly.
Yeah.
He gave him the little gooser there.
Yeah, but look, dude, look. You wear a cup. First and foremost, you're wearing a cup. You have pads there. Again, padded area. And he didn't take a full. No, he did not. No. He did not take it. That's not a whack, bro. That's not a whack. Okay, that's not a whack. That's a little, like you said, that's a little goose. All right. There's a difference between giving a little cup check, right, and then coming down.
If you see Stash at a game, you can do that to Stash.
I don't wear a cup or hockey pads, so no, you cannot. That's exactly my point. There's protection there. Okay, the guy has protection. There's no protection on the forearm, and what's going to happen? You take a little nut tap. Oh, it's the end of the game. You go ice him off the boys, and then you're back for the next game. You break a guy's forearm, he's out 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah,
that is not the same. That is not the same.
We have seen where our guys have gotten that, and their instant reaction is, if you get back up, go and try to kick the guy's ass.
Yeah,
well, I mean,
and Wilson takes it to the extreme no matter what.
Yeah,
so,
again, it's Wilson.
You have to expect some kind of retaliation.
Well, sure. I mean, and yeah, but again, it's when you're going back to protect yourself. Again, I remember specifically what Brain Point, right, got hit in the nuts that one, and that was like an egregious situation. That was like a full-on. That was a whack to the balls right there. Okay, that was a full-on
in the game the other night.
Yeah, you're right. Killer too. You're right. Yep. So those were completely different scenarios. All right, and Tom Wilson had already taken liberties multiple times in this game. A little bit of a questionable contact with Killer.
Yeah.
You know, and it looks like, oh, doesn't do anything. That's the kind of stuff he likes to get away with. Come in and make those questionable hits, knee on knee, skate to skate. You never know what could happen to a guy in that situation. So it's just one of those things, man. Tom Wilson's going to be more heavily scrutinized than anybody else in the league, especially by fans and opposing fans. So, you know, and then and you see also Kim is bringing up the elbow to the face earlier on Hedman's breakaway, which anybody else, you're like, okay, that's a hockey play. Wilson, you're like, well, that's dirty and that was intentional. And that's a backwards elbow, and that's right to the face. And I mean,
well, you see Hedman threw his hands
right.
Up. He wanted all right then.
Yeah.
But and again though, and I think that's because with it being Wilson, they were expecting a little bit heavier of officiating in that situation. And I think Hedman could have kept making that play. If he, instead of just taking the elbow and like trying to draw the penalty, play through it, get physical right back and take that puck to the net. That's just kind of where, you know what I mean? Because it wasn't that bad of an elbow. If it drew blood and it put him on his ass, then okay, like that's that. I mean, if you watch this isn't like a super big elbow. It's kind of like,
what kind of speed do you have it on there?
I know he has on super fast mode.
This is how I watch everything, boys.
It's just you need new technology, shooter.
That one he can get away with because he's got kind of
skating
going
right
anyway, but
exactly
forward motion
went a little bit further with that right elbow.
Yeah. For sure. Like it was intentional, but you're never going to convince me it wasn't intentional.
One thing for sure, we had the full Tom Wilson experience last night.
That's true.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to get
all
all
Tom
season
Hanks.
long. Like when we play the Bruins, we're going to get Marshawn. When we play, whoever,
the Panthers,
we're going to get
all the goons.
They're coming for us this season, and we saw
that's
that.
correct. That's correct.
We've seen these teams. I think they said Coyotes yesterday. It was like the first time in 3 seasons or 4 seasons since we've seen them, because of the fact that we hadn't seen them, and we went into the bubble, and then after the bubble, then we had only the certain conferences, and we didn't play against them then. So there's going to be some of these teams we haven't seen 2-3 years. And, we forget how much we hate some of these players against us. And now they come back into the arena and you're like, oh, gosh, I miss that guy, but I can't stand him.
Yeah. So how about some positives from last night? You had killer fourth straight goal, or fourth straight game.
4 games. Goal.
7 now all of a sudden this season.
Yeah.
So he's really coming on. Cirelli probably had one of his best games of the season, drawing penalties, scoring power play goals. They had that 5-on-3 that they scored on, which was nice. I loved how, if you guys noticed, they were really shutting down Stamkos from his spot. And we did the same thing with Ovechkin for the most part, but they were not letting him get that shot off. But they have this nice little wrinkle now where they start to pass it over, and they slide over Stamkos to right in the middle, and he gets that shot right from where you normally see Hedman. Now, you want him to be a little bit closer, but it's Stamkos, so he can rifle it in there. I loved seeing that little kind of, extra wrinkle to the power play for sure, which is what this team's going to need to do with Cooch being out long term.
We did get the power play from Point yesterday.
Yeah.
So finally got a power play goal, pointer, and then I see the Vasi love going on. Vasi finally starting to look like Vasi. He's had 3 good games that really could have been shutouts all 3 games. The first goal yesterday he gave up, that was off of Hedman.
Luke.
That second goal was kind of a crappy goal. But in the game against Arizona should have been a shutout. Pittsburgh could have been a shutout. I mean, he's definitely showing the Vasi. We started hearing the chants a lot last night, the Vasi chants in the arena.
There were 3 saves in just that second period alone. One on Tom Wilson, cross ice pass. You score on that every time. In NHL 22, you score on that 110% of the time.
Ever since NHL 94, bro, you've been able to score on that play. Come on.
But even in the NHL, I mean, that's a goal almost on any goalie. And Vasi just comes across. I guess that's why they call him the Big Cat, and saves that. He had a point-blank save on Ovi, which is the best goal scorer in the world, basically, almost of all time. Might take over Gretzky eventually if he keeps playing.
Will be.
And then he had Carlson, a defender for Washington, had one right in front. Just got left alone and found himself with the puck, and Vasi shut him down. And when you win a game 3-2, because eventually, we were up 3-1. Eventually, Washington scores a power play goal. You can't give Washington that many power play goals. You had the Perry kind of bad.
Well, the refs can give them as many as they want. You know what I mean? It's all however many the refs would decide to call. It's not necessarily they're Lightning are committing penalties per se. It's but
they're going to score. I mean, I know the Perry call, like that was a penalty. I forget what the other one was. There was another tripping penalty towards the end.
And that's just a ref situation too, because Perry's either making a play, getting aggressive. The opposing player kind of moves a little bit, his stick gets caught there, and then that's you can't do anything about that. I will say a lot of people are on his case right now, and things like that. It's not necessarily the penalty. It's the fact that he just stood there after he took the penalty. He got upset. He stood there. He didn't go and try and turn the puck over and get the whistle or whatever else. He just stood there and let Washington kind of have an extended possession before the Lightning touched the puck to actually start the power play. But I think that Perry is fitting in. He's finding his groove. It's just a matter of time. He's been so close 5 or 6 times already this season to putting the biscuit in. It's just a matter of time for that guy.
Yeah.
And as soon as he does, I mean, it's not like he's going to be, a 30 goal scorer or anything, but I could see him putting 17, 18 goals, having almost 40 points this season for this team as they hit the stretch. Because goes back to what I was talking about before, and how this team has played so much hockey and they were so worn out and so just kind of like just exhausted mentally from the 2 back-to-back shortened seasons, the weird schedule, the weird play, the weird everything else. Now, what is it? It's regular hockey. It's the hockey they've played their entire careers, their whole life, basically. Similar schedules, similar routines. Now they're back to it. Now we see we're 9 games in, right, to the season. And we're finally starting to see 3 weeks, 4 weeks into the season, this team is getting into that groove, and that groove is bringing back some of that resilience, some of that energy, just being able to get back in the routine. And this is what I was talking about before the season. It's going to take them a little bit while, missing the third line, bringing up the new guys, so much hockey they've played, readjusting the lines. It's going to take a little bit of time to gel, but the team is still as good as it ever was. It's just good in a different way. And Coop has to figure out how to do that. And we're seeing it starting to coalesce now. We still have a couple weeks, I believe. Like I said, Thanksgiving, I've said before in the show, I think we're looking at about a Thanksgiving timeline to see this team really start hitting on all cylinders. But it's a little bit earlier than I expected to see them starting to really find their game. And Stamkos, Killorn, the way they've adjusted those lines, they're really starting to coalesce a little bit sooner than I thought they might.
Well,
and I think something showing to Corey Perry's effect on the team, he's been the A couple games now.
Yeah.
And that right there tells you how much he's respected.
Yeah, that's a locker room decision.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
That's a locker room decision.
Yep. He's not scoring, but that A on
important.
his jersey tells you that the other players respect him, to the fact that I saw a tweet today that Cole, I can't think of his name, from Montreal was sent down. And it says that Corey Perry actually reached out to him today. Cole Caulfield.
Yeah, Caulfield.
Actually reached out to him and called him and talked to him about being sent down and stuff. And that just shows you what kind of teammate he is. He's not with Montreal anymore, but still wanted to call Cole just to say, hey, you're young. This happened.
And an defenseman. Yeah, he's a young blue liner. Yep.
Yeah. So I think that just shows to his personality. I mean, us in Tampa, we've hated him the last 2 seasons. But once he came here, it was like, and it shows you the players love him, and they respect him.
Yeah. And fans need to be next in line for that.
Yeah.
I saw some people.
I like him. I think he's awesome. I love the way he played when we played against him last year.
Yep.
Wait till he meets you, Sonya. He's gonna put you in that headlock, and I don't know if he will.
No, he won't. Don't go there.
No, I saw some people kind of overreading the whole alternate captain thing. Like it's a slap in the face to Killer or Hedman. They changed those things often. Lightning actually haven't as much in the past. It's been pretty consistent, the 3 alternates that we had. But by the way, you only have 2 per game. Right. So when Stamkos has been out, it's been you've had 3. You've had Hetty, you've had Killer, you've had McDonough. So I would expect those guys, like a lot of teams, they'll
actually usually that third one. Usually it's Hetty and Killer or Hetty and McDonough, and one of the other one switches. Because you'll see Palat have it a lot. Tyler Johnson had it a couple times over the years. The one person you don't ever see it is Cooch. He doesn't want it. He doesn't want to be the leader of a team. Yeah, that's why everybody's like, "Oh, he'll be the captain one day." No, he never wants to be the captain.
It's number 1 bullshit. He will not be captain.
That's great.
Never.
Number 1 bullshit. Cooch as captain.
You'll see, it's always
captain of Bud Lights.
Hedman always gets that, and of course he deserves it. But the other ones tend to rotate. I mean, one year we did home ones and away ones, so it had some that were here. But really, if you go to the arena and say, I want an A on my jersey, I think the only one they will actually do it on is Hedman. Because the other ones rotate. I know even back to the Callahan days, he would have the A a lot, but you could not get a jersey with the A on it because he was not an official alternate captain because they rotated them.
I'm pretty sure you could get an A on a killer sweater.
You might be able to now.
I'm almost positive I've seen killer sweater with an A.
But what can you not get at the team store?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, Stash. You're so upset.
Oh, you can't get a pre-made killer sweater at the team store. You have to have.
No, you can get a pre-made. You were looking for the jersey, the shirt jersey.
Oh yeah. That's right. They had that. You might have been there. They only had 4, and they didn't have killer. And I don't know, man. The longest tenured player on the Lightning, and you don't have his shirt in your own team store.
I'll tell you why. Because they used to have the slogan T-shirts. So if they had the slogan T-shirts, they did not have the name T-shirts.
See, there it is. I just bought a killer jersey, and Amalie has an A on it. That's what I thought. I thought I saw the A on the killer jerseys there. You're right. You're right. That's what it was. There was no, but they didn't have anything. They had no killer swag in the team store except for the sweater. And I just don't understand that, man. Like, again, we talked about it, and I'll say, if it had been him instead of Yanni, I would have felt the same way about him leaving as I do about Yanni. I would have supported him from afar. I wouldn't be sitting here being like, oh, killer. I wouldn't be doing that. But I'm just saying, if he's the longest tenured player on the Lightning, that guy deserves a little bit of respect around here. That's all I'm saying.
Save it for our roast of the Lightning coming up next month.
The Thanksgiving Day Lightning roast.
Maybe he has his own line of clothing.
Well, he has AK-17. He has his own brand, right? But I mean, that doesn't. Who cares, dude? It doesn't matter. If you got a why do you have a Sergachev shirt in there instead of a Killer Orange shirt? That's all I'm saying.
It's money. It's money. I mean. Literally, they wouldn't think the killer one would sell.
Well, I disagree, but whatever, man.
Write him a letter. Whatever. Shout out to Debbie, our co-host last week. Rumor has it that Debbie is going to buy a Corey Perry jersey when he scores. If he scores, I guess I should say at this point.
When?
So, Debbie, I don't know. Are the rumors true? And will you put an A on it? And what will that A stand for?
That's what I was going to ask. What does that A mean?
Sonya brought up this earlier. This was the carnival that you actually were at the first year.
Yeah.
And, you said the first time you met Schuster, there's his little signature right there.
Yeah.
And I was like, God, that was so long ago. Bishop,
it was a while. Yeah.
I'm looking at these autographs and I was like, the only one I think still here is Stammer and Killer. Oh, Palat.
Yeah, Jason Garrison was there too.
Yeah. Oh, and Cooch was there. Yeah, there's Garrison. Callahan.
Another guy fans were skeptical about bringing into this fold, and then as soon as he was here, they couldn't get enough of him.
JT Brown.
Yeah.
JT Brown. Have you heard him doing commentary yet?
Yes, I have. I have
commentary for the Kraken. Yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
He is. He's a little bit quiet, but I think he's still trying to find his way. But he's not the main speaker. He's the color guy.
He's color.
So if you can check out Kraken and get their home, it's their home broadcast.
I used to love his Twitch when he would do his Twitch. That was fun to watch. He if you get him talking once he gets comfortable, he'll talk.
Yeah.
Yeah. He actually messaged me on opening night to tell me he saw me on the broadcast and he's happy that I'm back. So I was like, oh, that's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Can
you get him on the show, Sonya?
I love that man.
That's why this is how I lose guests. Because last time Seth was on, who hasn't been on since, I was like, Seth, can you throw us the scraps from
Block Party? And your Castle House and Block Party.
Did you ever reject anyone? Which, by the way, here I'm gonna play the shortest clip of this because I don't want to steal his thunder. I want you guys to go watch this. I just love this part of it. It's like the smallest part that you guys probably didn't even notice, but I do because I'm a weirdo. But like this is the end. He's asking Vassy like, what was his inspiration to get that picture where he's got his hand up and he's got the cup right behind him. Very clever. Like you can tell Vassy's a really smart guy.
Oh
yeah, he is. He is
funny.
But
he's a funny guy.
I loved his answer. You got to tell me if you can't hear this, but you have to hear his answer for this.
I can't hear it.
No, we can't hear it.
Can't hear it.
Gosh darn it, StreamYard.
I had to get out ahead on that one. I assumed it wasn't going to work. It's tonight. It's not you. It's tonight. It's not you. It's tonight. It's technical difficulty Tuesday. That's what it is. No game. So we had to have something throw a wrench in the works, right?
All right, we're gonna try this again. Everybody listen to Vassy and his sweet words here.
After the win, and for some reason, I saw the cap behind me, and I'm like, oh, here it is for you guys. Enjoy.
And we all did, and we appreciate the Vassy.
Here it is for you guys.
Here it is for you guys. Enjoy. It is for you guys. Enjoy.
That was his inspiration. They need to get these guys on camera more. All these Russian guys, which by the way, to wrap up the Washington game last night, and I love Monday night football, but I really love Monday night hockey.
Hell yeah.
We need more Monday night games. But Ilya Kovalchuk, if you remember that name, was in the house. He was an NHL All-Star years ago and signed a gigantic contract, one of the first ones to sign a huge contract. He was in the house because he's like one of the GMs for Team Russia, and half of Team Russia was playing in the game last night. So they showed those guys in the box, keeping an eye on possibly their gold medal caliber players all playing last night.
The Cavier was also in the house after I got Sonya to come up there. They were like, "Great, you can get Sonya up here. Now get Vinny up here." And I'm like, "Oh, listen, I'm friends with Sonya. Vinny, I'm just a stalker."
Right. Same with me. I'll see him in the hallway and I'm like, "Hi."
Like I'll walk around Davis Island and be like, "Oh my gosh, what are you doing here?" Like, I can't believe you're like crossing the sidewalk right here where I'm at.
It's listen. It's one thing to sing the national anthem, huge honor. It's another thing to have an entire hospital named after you in the town. You know what I mean? Like
a whole wing of
wing of a hospital. So like there's friendly celebrities, and then there's like you know what I mean? So hey, we try our best around here though, and we love the fact that we get the voice of the Lightning on our little show.
Oh, and I'm not a celebrity. I keep telling you guys that I'm just a hometown girl, you know. So
no one did Halloween decorations of you. You're a celebrity.
Yeah, it's official.
I've been here for 10 years, so I'm just a Tampa girl now.
10
whole years.
I've been here 44 years, and I don't have hockey decorations. Hockey decorations after me. Okay,
that's still hilarious to me.
I don't know about that.
Now, Sonya, any chance you change your profile picture to this?
No.
We might change.
I love it, but no.
Right.
Just be ready. It might be our profile pic for a little bit.
I think this one's great because they have like the solar yard light as the landscape light as the microphone, so like lights up. That's genius. That's really high.
That was so smart. Everything about it, believe me, I have already zoomed in on it and looked at every little piece.
That's so cool. Yeah.
You know what else? You get a lot of credit for the blue lipstick. That's like your signature right there. Mm-hmm. But on the Saturday night games, it's not blue.
No, because it's a blackout. It's
exactly.
Blackout.
So this is something that me and Stash were talking about. We were at the last Saturday night game. Colorado's in town. It's a blackout game. What do they call? What do they call it? Like disrupt the night or something?
Disrupt the night.
Yeah, disrupt the night. Mm-hmm.
All right. First of all, it's a blackout. Everybody needs to wear their black jerseys, their black
shirt.
Can we
Thomas
get
with your blue sweaters?
Sonya's got the black.
I'm talking to you.
She has her black jersey on. We all need to let's make this a thing.
Yeah.
Saturday nights, we wear black to the games.
If you don't have black lightning swag, wear a black shirt. Don't wear white.
And the word to the wise, this is the last season that they're going to be doing that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Really? Now I'm really sad. Now I might have to get the black sweater this season too. Son of a.
So any Saturday games for the rest of the season, do that. That'd be good. That'd be fun.
We need it. You know,
we'll remind you.
Just buy in a little bit.
Thunderbolts too.
I've heard a new retro jersey next year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that they're going to do another form of retro jerseys. Adidas has to come out with a new jersey every year. They came out with that climate control one this year. That I have seen lots of good reviews about that, especially the game used ones. So the climate control are the good ones, but now I heard there will be some form of retro again next year.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, and I know we're all still kind of keeping an eye out to see what the Stadium Series sweater is going to look like this year too. So,
Sonya, give us some breaking news. I know you've seen it. Come on. Stadium Series,
I haven't.
the Nashville game.
I haven't seen any of that yet.
Wow.
So, and I don't know what the situation is going to be yet. I know. Are we hosting? Are we hosting for that game?
No, we're the
road team.
We're the road team. Okay.
So
I don't know.
They're going to come out with probably a white sweater just for this game.
Yeah.
And everybody's waiting for it.
I'm sure it'll be beautiful, whatever it is. No, I haven't seen anything.
It'll be amazing. All right, let's go through some of these games this next week, and then let's get the heck out of here. It's an early night for us, and it's already almost 10 o'clock. So,
well, thanks to technical difficulties.
Yeah. So Thursday night, 2 nights from tonight, we've got the Maple Leafs in Toronto. I already saw some comments that they're happy to be back in Toronto. Back in, they were gonna go stay at their hotel that they stayed at for the bubble when they won the cup the first year. To see those memories again. And we got the Maple Leafs. I think the Maple Leafs were handing it to Vegas, who's not playing that well this season. I think they're handing it to them tonight.
The game's over 4-0 Maple Leafs.
Yeah, so Maple Leafs coming off a big win. Those are always interesting games, that Toronto Tampa rivalry. Then we've got the Senators, a young up-and-coming team. Set your alarms because this is a 2:00 start time. But it's away time. It's an away game. So we got the early matinee on Saturday. I wish they showed on this, whatever I'm on, what the broadcast was through.
I know. They don't. This is the actual, you're on the actual website.
This is like Google.
No, okay.
3 shutouts tonight. Flyers beat the Coyotes 3-0. Canadians beat the Red Wings 3-0. Maple Leafs beat the Golden Knights 4-0.
Whoa.
Bally Sports. Saturday is going to be Bally Sports as well. The 2:00 game on Saturday will be Bally Sports. Looks like all 4 of these games are going to be Bally.
Cool. So everyone should be able to find those, hopefully. Although we see a lot of comments about people.
Everyone talking shit about Spectrum. Oh, I just gave up on Spectrum. Well, then that's your loss. I'm sorry. Now you don't get NHL Network on top of it. Boo hoo.
Do they pay you, these Spectrum folks?
Listen, okay. It's not that I like Spectrum. It's that I like hockey, and I don't think that any of the other services are that much better. Like I've had since I've lived in this house for the last 3 years. I've had Spectrum, I've had DirecTV, and I've had Frontier. Spectrum is the cheapest, and I get NHL Network, and I get every single Lightning game. That's a pretty easy decision for me.
It's all a boy needs. All right, back to the schedule here. Tune in however you can. If anyone needs a really good way to watch games,
there are streams available.
You know, I watch Kraken games on their home broadcast.
Slide up in his DMs. He loves it.
But we got the Hurricane coming to town. This starts a huge homestand. We're at home for the rest of the month. I think we got one trip to Philly.
But game.
This is going to be huge for Sonya's vocal cords and for the team. She's going to be singing a lot. They're going to be scoring a lot of goals. I'm going to be screaming a lot, so I might lose my voice if I go to any of these games. But some huge games here. Hurricanes come to town. They haven't lost a game yet.
Nope.
Panthers come to town. They've only lost one game.
Yeah.
Sash was saying we're gonna take like the pulse of the team right around Thanksgiving. We're gonna know exactly where we stand around Thanksgiving because we have the gauntlet coming up, and if you even skip ahead, you got the Islanders. They're no slouches, and then it drops off a little bit after that.
It definitely there's a little bit of a drop off, yes.
But this next week's going to be really interesting. We'll be back.
Three repeat matchups from the last playoff. Carolina, Florida, New York.
So not Ottawa. You got to throw Ottawa in there too.
Yeah.
After
Ottawa, after Toronto and Ottawa, after the two Canadian teams that we know are going to do nothing in the playoffs, we have 3 serious contenders in a row after that. So that's going to be a big litmus for us for the Lightning now. And then I'm curious to see further in the season when we come up with another kind of stretch like that, and then see how we could compare to that.
Philly's not a slouch team this year either.
No, they're not. They're playing a lot better hockey this season. They're playing pretty inspired.
And that's that one game that they have to go on the road for.
On the road. That could easily be a trap game.
Sandwiched in between 4-game homestands. But we'll be back on next Tuesday night, the 9th, after this Hurricanes game. We're going to go back into post-game show mode. If you haven't figured it out yet, we hope you like it. When we don't have a game like tonight on Tuesdays, we get awesome guests like Sonya. When we do have a game, we'll go live after that game. We'll talk about that game and the previous games. So I don't know if you boys or Sonya had anything else to tell us about, but Sonya, I definitely want you to let people know how to find you on Instagram and Twitter and all that stuff. Even though the people that watch us, they probably all follow you already. But what else?
most of them. Well, I do. I'm on Cameo as well. So if you need a birthday song sang, go on there and request it. It's $30, and I'll sing happy birthday to whoever you want me to. Usually, I haven't turned one down yet. So
challenge accepted.
No, not you, because I know you. You're crazy.
But like, happy birthday, Brad Marchand.
Exactly. You took it right out of my mouth.
Never ever in my long-legged life would I sing to that guy.
Happy birthday, Tom Wilson.
No, him neither. But one thing that I wanted to mention is the Tuesday night's game is Military Appreciation Night. Mr. McClintock will be singing with me again. He will be 102 next week.
Yeah.
So that's amazing in itself. World War II vet, and he's amazing. So
yeah.
That's awesome. So make sure you get there early so you
tune in.
Most definitely.
It's always nice out there on Thunder Alley. They bring in the tank. They bring in Humvees. They bring in military men standing all over there. Make sure you show your appreciation to them. Thank them for them service. They'll be all around the arena. It's always a good night. That's always a night that I always look forward to. And they'll have the jerseys, they'll have the hats, the shirts, all that up for sale going on. They always do a military puck in the team store. That's usually pretty nice.
Right on. And don't forget,
lives in her mom's nursing home facility.
Oh, cool. Yeah, he's amazing. He is really amazing.
That's awesome. And by the way, don't forget to follow us on Twitter at We the Thunder Pod. We just started it last night. And
if you have any problems, Shooty's the only one that posts ever, 100%. I don't even have a login for that.
I guess I better start following.
If he says I have a login, it's absolutely a lie. It is only Shooter that will ever post from that Twitter account. If he gets banned, it's because of something he did, not because of anything that the stash may or may not have said or done. It's absolutely
how do all these people get banned on Twitter? I have been on Twitter for so long and never ever nobody said anything like that to me. What are you guys doing?
Well, this is literally is happening because Shooty got his account shut down
because he played some music that was copywritten.
Yes.
Guilty.
Bad boy. You
I
bad
take my
boy.
punishment. I take my punishment.
For opening night, Facebook flagged me for you singing the national anthem. And I did live, Facebook Live in Thunderbolts And then I posted it afterwards, so because it was your huge return, everybody wanted to see it.
Yeah.
And then Facebook comes back to me and says I violated because it was copyrighted material, and then I had to send it for review. And then they came back and said, "Oh, okay, yeah, you can use that." I had to put
For the anthem?
Well, I wonder if it's because it was the broadcast
event. I had to put that it was a sporting event and it was a public sporting event, and that it was.
Do you know how many people post that anthem, any anthem, and nobody ever gets flagged like that? That's crazy.
Listen,
the anthem isn't copywritten.
On Facebook yesterday, I put pucks are $45 because they were doing the mystery pucks yesterday, which they end up only being $35. But I put pucks 45, and literally
said something else.
Literally, yeah. Well, Facebook flagged it for animal rights abuse, and I'm like, what? I'm like,
that's so meta.
What are you doing with those pucks?
Review, please review.
That's so meta.
Well, hold on.
Hey, check this out. I was trying to set up my new computer tonight because that's my main technological.
Well,
that's
this
crazy.
thing goes against our rules on animals.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
So I have a whole new setup I'm trying to get locked in for this season, and that's kind of why I was having trouble logging in before, because I got a new PC and I was trying to log into Facebook, and I guess I recently changed my password because I'm weird like that, and it wasn't the one I had saved. So I tried to log in for my new computer, and it made me upload a photo ID to verify it was me logging in from a new device. How the
No. My favorite was when this show got shut off by Facebook, a live stream for playing this.
Rain sounds.
First
This
time
happened.
I did that.
This is verifiable. This is
In
absolutely
the middle
true.
of our broadcast, people were talking to us, and then all of a sudden they stopped talking to us, and we were like, gosh, everybody fell off. And then all of a sudden people are messaging us going, where are you guys?
What happened?
It's not available.
Wow. So is Rain copyrighted?
Evidently,
Rain, thunder,
according to Meta.
lightning, all of it. That's how I got booted off Twitter too.
Meta
'Cause I
says.
put these videos together with like sound effects and for the Twitter thing, I used a song that I was not supposed to, but I'm sure the artist would have been just fine with
Right.
the 18 people that watched it.
We're making so much money off of this over here. You know what I mean?
Anyway,
Right.
the poll that we did tonight is open. Your favorite Bolt Halloween costume was Sooster and Killer as your favorite Buccaneers, or they were actually just the Bucks QBs.
Bucks QBs.
Brady and Gabbert.
Which I gotta say though, man, whenever you're getting handed legitimate NFL licensed uniforms, you got a leg up. You know what I mean? Those are some freaking Spirit Halloween football costumes. Those are legitimate. If you put that, because somebody that shared it was side by side with Brady and Gabbert. Literally, the swoosh, the towels, the armbands, those are the black stripes. Those are 100% NFL issued uniforms. The helmets,
they were given by the team.
Yes, absolutely. Those are team uniforms given to them by the team. So
wow.
While that's amazing, it's kind of cheating. Just a little bit. You know what I mean? Just a little bit.
Well,
but I love Killer. But I love Killer because Killer's always supporting the
mob
team.
one was real too.
Right.
I like
That
Vass's
part.
look here.
Yeah. Dude, he's so hard in this, dude. The freaking Russian sweatsuit is so hard. I love it, dude. I love it. Coming right out the Ukraine.
I love Vassy. Vassy is my favorite.
Well, and I was gonna say earlier too, one thing, and when we were talking about them, and this may be my last thing to say tonight, but I'm really impressed by how well spoken for tonight. Thomas, calm down. How well spoken Sergachev and Vassy, especially Sergachev with his English. Sergachev's English is very, very good for a Russian hockey player. I mean, it took Ovechkin several years in the league to get that well spoken. Even Kucherov still doesn't speak as good of English, which I think he plays it up a little bit. No, he plays it up a little bit. But like if you look at the way even Sergachev's posts on Instagram and Twitter, his social media posts, it's like an American.
Didn't grow up in Russia though, like they did. His family was here.
That's
in
true.
America.
That's true.
And he will be the first one to tell you that's why his English is so good. He grew up in Canada.
That makes sense.
So
But still, it's still impressive.
His family sent him when he was very young to a Bullock family, and he learned English and has been here a lot longer than Kucherov and Vasi. And back in the day, that first carnival that they did where Kucherov, he wouldn't speak. He wouldn't speak at all because he didn't really know English.
And he didn't want to say something wrong, whatever.
He would just say, "Hi, thank you." And he'd look down. He wouldn't give eye contact. And same thing with Vasi. Vasi wouldn't give interviews his first couple of years.
All Cooch ever has to say ever again is number one bullshit. He said it. This is it. This is all Cooch ever has to say ever again. Number one bullshit. Someone else
brought that up to me today, actually, about how well spoken they are and that they're English. And I was like, Sergachev will always be because he did not grow up there.
But even Vasilevsky, his English has become much better in the last couple of seasons.
That's why this is his first one-on-one interview because he's finally comfortable with it.
Yeah. So, well, I love more access to our Russian guys.
If you just make your passwords like I do, Sonya #1, you never get locked out. You never get locked out.
Well, listen, I had a system.
My password isn't that.
I had a system for a long time.
I know.
Right. Well, it was like a version, like kind of the same version based on whatever website I was or whatever I was logging into. And then I got a little bit older and it's like, that's just a little bit easy, And so then I started out thinking myself, I'm 41 now. I'm too smart for my own good. Like I changed. I'm like, oh, I'm going to be ahead of it. I'm going to change my password. 2 days later, wait, what was that? What did I change it to? Oh, my password manager and my phone didn't save it. Son of a bitch, I'm lost.
Reset.
Write down everything, dude.
We're not as analog as we used to be, but my wife and I need to go back. We used to have the large index card, not the little ones, but the 5x6 or whatever it is. And that was our password card. And that'd be all scribbled out like, oh, time for a new one. Or it's like, we need to get back to that.
I had a little spiral notebook with all of hers. When she passed, I'm trying to get into some of her things. And I'm like, what's it go?
Rolodex.
And I'd be mad if it was like one of my sisters and it wasn't me. Or I'd be like, how dare her not have her baby boy as her password.
Tune in tomorrow night for more password talk with
we the password
right now because of this. Okay.
All right.
My password is 1, 2, 3, 4.
Does
That's a Spaceballs reference. You never silence a Spaceballs reference.
Anything else you guys got? Sonya, I just want to thank you again for joining us. Always just makes it so fun when you come on. You're such a big part of the team and community. And if you weren't out there singing opening night, it would have just been a huge hole in the whole fan base here. So we thank you so much for quickly recovering and kicking us off here.
Kevin, you get me, Kevin.
No, I just appreciate all the prayers and the good thoughts and everything. All that stuff kept me lifted while I was in the hospital. And at some point I had to pray for myself, and thank goodness he heard me. But I'm just happy to be here. So this is amazing for me.
Good. Well, hopefully we'll have you back in a month or two, and we're talking about like a 10-game win streak or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm definitely have to get to another game soon because I've already been to two games so far, and I haven't seen you yet this season. So that's really strange. I usually always randomly bump into you. Yeah. Well, that's because me and Shooter keep going together. We all know about that curse, if you will. So. But me and Shooter have never been in the house. Well, since we started We the Thunder, we've never been Amalie for a win together. We've never won while we've been there.
Is that true?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh, well.
Oh, it's true.
They always.
We're gonna have to go to let's see, maybe that Devils game on the 20th.
It's a 5:00 game, I think.
No, a 4:00 game.
4:00.
Yeah. Maybe we could win that one, or maybe that's back to back with the Devils and the Wild. So maybe that weekend.
Better not risk it.
Right. Maybe that we could guarantee a win on that weekend. I don't know. Break the curse.
The Devils national anthem singer is going to actually be there for that game.
Oh, that's cool.
You guys gonna Google it out?
No, I'm gonna. I wanted to meet her, so she said she was gonna try and make it down for that game.
Oh, that's cool. Do you guys have like a network of like?
That's what I was gonna ask.
Do you guys have like the National Assembly of National Anthem Singers for sports teams
National
in the
Anthem
United
Singers
States of America?
Assemble. I know a
the
bunch of
conference.
them. I
That's
know
awesome.
a bunch of them. So her name is Arlette Roxburgh. She sings for the New Jersey Devils. I know the guy that sings for Vegas Golden Knights. Who else? Chicago Blackhawks.
Let's not say them.
Well, I just happen to know those people, but a bunch of us are on Twitter and Instagram, so we kind of come together in those areas. But yeah, they're all cool people. I don't bash them or anything.
So there's not like a once a year conference in like Tempe or something, and you guys just
If you don't sing it in this key, you're not allowed to be part.
No, no. But Mr. Cornelison, I have a weird kind of link with him. When I was, 2012, I participated in it was called like an icon or idol type thing on base. So 2012, I went to where if you win on the base that you're stationed at, then the winners go to this one particular place and then you compete against each other. So we all went to Illinois, actually, to the base up there for the competition, and Mr. Cornelison was one of the judges. So I knew him from way back then, which was really cool that I got a chance to actually turn that around and be an anthem singer just like him.
Haven't you posted one of those videos from one of the idols or something? That I swear I saw a young Sonya.
Yeah. That was the first one. That was the one that I posted. The one that I first did at Davis-Monthan Air Base, which is in Tucson, Arizona. Sorry. That was the first one I ever did, singing Natural Woman or something like that. That was fun. I enjoyed that one a lot.
Real quick, you guys.
That's how you make Thomas feel like a natural Lightning fan.
Around the league notes, it appears from what the rumors are coming out, Marc-Andre Fleury could be getting traded.
Edmonton.
Yeah.
Oh,
Edmonton.
wow.
And then Carey Price looks to be coming back soon for Montreal, which is a good thing that he's graduating from the mental health.
Yeah.
So just a couple of little league rumors that are going around there.
How did we go this whole show? Did we not talk about it before I came on about the Lightning rumors?
No, we haven't talked about any.
We didn't bring up the whole Phil Kessel situation. Like I had a teaser earlier on in the show.
When you were talking about all those jokes, I couldn't figure out what you were talking about because I haven't seen.
You haven't seen anybody talk about Phil Kessel coming here at all?
No.
I've seen at least 5 articles, and I got into it with one of the admins of one of the Lightning fan groups because there was a pretty well written article saying that Arizona could retain all of his salary, and we would get him for basically draft picks or a prospect. And I'm sorry, I think Phil Kessel is still of the caliber player that if we're looking at a three-peat and all we got to give up is like a late first round or maybe like a Cal Foot, I think it's worth it going for a three-peat. Personally,
I don't know about a foot.
So,
maybe a Bogosian and a
it depends, right? I mean, it really depends on what they're. I mean, even if it's like a late first and
I like
a second
Bogosian
or something.
I do too.
A late first or a second. I mean, because look, we all know that a late first round isn't guaranteed, right? If it's a top 5, okay, that's different. But a late first round still isn't a guaranteed thing. If you're going to get a guaranteed production out of a guy like Phil Kessel, he'll still in a full season putting up 50, 60 points in Arizona before they kind of had a fire sale and he doesn't have any support. But his last full season, he was putting up good points in 80 game streak or whatever. I see that as being a potential for the Lightning, especially with Cooch being out another 6 or 7 weeks, 8 weeks still. And if they can make it to where Arizona, because they still have ability to retain the player salary from one more player. They've retained the salary for 2 players so far this season. They have one more guy that they can do that to. And they've already paid 5 of his $6 million in bonuses of his salary this year. So he only has $1 million left to pay on his salary.
Wow.
And they can retain a bunch of that. So there's an opportunity that a lot of people are talking about, but a lot of Lightning fans are absolutely saying, absolutely no, Phil Kessel. I'm like,
they said that about Perry too.
Well, exactly. Well, they said that about Girardi. They said that about Strawman. They said that about McDonough. I could keep going. I could go on forever, baby. You know, So I'm personally, and I'll tell you this right now, whenever Phil left Toronto, clearly I'm partial because Phils are the greatest on the world. But when Phil left Toronto, I wanted him here. I really wanted him to come here instead of going to Pittsburgh. But that guy's got multiple cups. He's been in multiple situations. He's been in big market teams. He knows what to do. And that guy's going to bring instant depth, veteran leadership right to a team that lost some key pieces in the offseason. So to me, that's something to keep an eye out because Arizona's fire sale right now.
And the one other rumor is Eichel too, I guess. That seems to be really heating
that
up.
seems almost fully done too.
Yeah.
Yep. So,
Okay.
and the biggest
talking about trade.
The biggest breaking news is Shooter eating a red blow pop.
He's been eating candy the whole time. He's going to be bouncing off the wall.
His whole stash before we came on air.
It's a Halloween episode.
Yes. All right, Kevin Cowan, I think we just became best friends because if you just got that last reference, we are best friends. I'm pretty sure he's referring to my "I could go on forever, baby," and that's a deep reference. If you don't know it, then you don't know. Home Alone 2.
I gotta go brush my teeth soon.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Bro, all this conversation, all this talking with Sonya, I haven't been able to get to karaoke the last couple of weeks on vacation, so I might go hit karaoke tonight after the show. So
I've never done karaoke in my life.
I was just going to ask you that. Can we bring you out to karaoke?
We need to.
No.
Come on.
We would be like the coolest cats on the freaking block.
We'd go up there and just be like cracking your voice. Like,
listen, I know some good singers, man. You would be protected. You would be protected. I bring some singers with me. We got a crew. We sing regularly. I've got one guy. Everyone thinks he's Kenny Chesney. I mean, for real, he thinks he's Kenny Chesney. Everyone else thinks he's Kenny Chesney. The guy just, he makes pants drop, whatever they are. No matter. That's what he does. So listen, you'd be protected. No one would even know you. We could put you in like a skeleton costume or something like that. You know what I mean? They wouldn't even know who you are. We could do this.
Oh my gosh.
Everybody knows what she looks like as a skeleton now.
Right. Right.
Who's that singing?
Who's that girl?
There she is.
Another Home Alone 2 reference. That's Marv.
Oh my gosh.
Miss America.
You guys
New
are so
profile pic
crazy.
going up soon.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much, Sonya. Thank you, Shooter. Thank you, Thomas. It's good to be back. I hate missing the show. I have severe FOMO anytime I miss a show. So I'm glad you guys held it down for me last week. And thanks, Debbie and Joyce for me. Right? It's Debbie and Joyce, right?
Yes.
We were here last week. Thanks for filling in.
Eric Harrelson.
And Double E, of course. And for him sticking around, I heard also after his time on the show, he stuck around and interacted. So thank you guys. Thank you, Sonya. Thank you, fans. Thanks, everyone else, for being back. And Shooter, let's wrap this one up before Thomas starts talking again.
Let's do it. Thank you again, Sonya. We'll see you guys next week. This has been We the Thunder. Don't forget to be the Thunder.